Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking through a couple player props I like on Prizepicks for tonight's NBA slate on Wednesday, March the 22nd. Today, guys, is actually my birthday. I'm turning 24 years old today, so hopefully the gambling gods can bring me a little bit of luck today. Obviously, if you tailed our plays yesterday, luck wasn't really on our side. We'll recap our two plays from yesterday just in a minute, but it is my birthday today, so we'll try and win some money today. Hopefully the gambling gods will treat me well. But we do have a big Wednesday slate, guys. It's a 10-game slate tonight, so there's going to be plenty of props to like. I'm recording this video around 11 o'clock Eastern time, so most of the boards posted. We don't have all the teams up yet, but you can see there's a lot of fantasy score props posted. There's obviously going to be more props to get added throughout the day. You guys know, as always, I do provide more Prizepicks plays over on Patreon. Usually post those later in the afternoon once we get the full board up and I can look through everything. But at first look, I like to give out a few plays to you guys for free for YouTube. So we're going to talk through two picks that I do like for this slate for Wednesday. Before we do talk through these two plays though, guys, as always, if you enjoy these Prizepicks videos, if they do help you out, make sure you hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet, and if you guys are new to Prizepicks, if you've never checked them out before, you can sign up for Prizepicks. You can use my promo code Noah. If you do look at the bottom of the screen, when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So check them out. If you guys have not yet, use that code when you sign up. Make sure to get your deposit bonus when you do sign up. And again, I want to recap our two plays from yesterday. Luck wasn't really on our side yesterday. We took the over on Marvin Bagley's fantasy score, and that play went great. I mean, Bagley had a huge game. I think he went over his fantasy score in like the first quarter maybe, or like halfway through the second quarter. He had already gotten 28 or 29 fantasy points. He had a huge game against the Hawks. Unfortunately, we took the over on Bradley Beal's fantasy score. That was one of my favorite plays yesterday. I made that one of my star plays on Patreon. And Beal, man, he had a horrible game. He shot like 4 for 15, and the dude fouled out. Literally fouled out. He had 5 fouls through like 3 quarters. He barely played. I mean, he did play a good amount. He still played like 30 minutes, but he was in massive foul trouble the whole game. Just couldn't really get in a rhythm, and he fouled out yesterday. And I literally looked it up. So Bradley Beal has played 694 games in the regular season. He's only fouled out of 5 games, 5 out of 694 games. And of course, the day I take an over on Bradley Beal, the day I play his over fantasy score, he's going to foul out because that's just how it goes. So that was super annoying to have to deal with foul trouble for a guy like Bradley Beal who literally never gets in foul trouble. Normally, I don't complain about foul trouble if it's a guy like, let's say like a Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, you kind of know the risk you're taking when you take an over on Jaren Jackson Jr. He always gets in foul trouble. But like Bradley Beal, the dude literally never gets in foul trouble. And the day that I take an over on him, he fouls out of a game. Like, what are the odds? Super annoying, but we'll move on to Wednesday slate. 10 games tonight, guys. Hopefully, again, my birthday today, so hopefully the gambling guys can treat me well. But we got two props I like for today. I got a fantasy score prop I'm liking, and then I have a points prop that I'm liking for today. And I want to start off with the fantasy score prop, and I want to talk about Nikola Jokic. His fantasy score line of 52.5. I know that anytime you look at a fantasy score like this over like 50 or 55, it's always a little bit you have to pause a little bit because it is a very big number. But it's warranted for a guy like Jokic, who this season has been like a terrific fantasy point per minute player. So far this season, Jokic averaging 1.65 fantasy points per minute per 36. On average, when he plays 36 minutes, he averages 59 fantasy points. So I think this line of 52.5 is just too low for Jokic, and I think it's a really good matchup too. That's what was surprising to see this line so low. Like, I could understand if it was a matchup against like Miami or Cleveland, teams that have been really good defensively against centers. The Wizards have not been good defensively against centers, and we saw Jokic go absolutely nuclear against the Wizards earlier this season. He had one of his best games of the season against Washington. He put up 81.8 fantasy points, 43 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, 5 steals, and a block. He had 8 turnovers in that game, still had 81 fantasy points. Massive game from Jokic earlier this season against the Wizards. The Wizards are just like, defensively against bigs, they're not the best defensive team. Daniel Gafford is a very poor defender. Porzingis is definitely not a great defender by any means either. And we've seen Jokic just be able to dominate, in any matchup. I mean, it doesn't really matter who he's going up against. But there definitely are some teams that could give Jokic troubles. Like, he didn't have the greatest game against the Knicks. That's a tough matchup. Mitchell Robinson's a very good defender. He didn't have the best game against Toronto. Toronto's a very good defensive team. They did a pretty good job, limiting Jokic. But we've seen Jokic crush against, Brooklyn lately. He had a good game against Detroit, even in a blowout. I mean, the dude's just been, on another level this season. He's stuffing the stat sheet. He's been putting up a triple-double like almost every night, it feels like. And we know that Jokic, if this game is competitive, he's going to play 36, 37 minutes. The Wizards, they are on a back-to-back. They played yesterday, but this is a game in Washington that I think should be competitive. I think the spread right now is like 6.5 or 7. So the fact that the game's being played in Washington, I think makes it a lot more likely the game stays close. If this game was being played in Denver, like if Washington had to play, Tuesday and then travel to Denver on a back-to-back, I would definitely be worried about blowout. But I think the fact that Washington's getting to play at home here, I think this game will be competitive. I think we will see Jokic play his normal 35, 36 minutes as long as he avoids foul trouble and stuff. And again, the matchup should be great against Daniel Gafford and against the Wizards, who have given up a lot of big games to centers this season. And Jokic, like I said, crushed against the Wizards earlier this year, and he's had a lot of good games previously against the Wizards. He actually is over this fantasy score line in 5 straight games against Washington. His last 5 games against the Wizards, 57.9 fantasy points, 55.7, 72.3, 62.6, and 81.8. So really good spot here for Jokic. A lot of success against the Wizards in the past as well. Crushed against them earlier this season. And I could definitely see him having another big game here. I think 52.5 fantasy points for a guy like Jokic in this matchup is definitely too low. So that's going to be our first play for today, is Nikola Jokic more than 52.5 fantasy score. And I do want to mention that if you're unfamiliar with how Prizepicks fantasy score works, if you've ever played DFS on FanDuel or Yahoo, they use the same scoring system that those sites use. But you can just click scoring chart right here, and it'll literally show you how the scoring is calculated. You get for every point you get a point, for every rebound you get 1.2 points, for every assist you get 1.5 points, for every block and steal you get 3 points for each, and then for a turnover you lose a point. It's pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. But people have asked, how does fantasy score work? So that's the scoring chart. Now, for the other play that I like is going to be a points prop. We're going to go to one of these late night games, and I want to talk about Anthony Davis's points prop. Anthony Davis, not been playing that well lately. Last few games, had a decent game against Dallas. Really struggled last game against Orlando. Wasn't great against the Knicks. Wasn't great against the Raptors. He did have a big game though against the Pelicans. I think this is a spot we're going to get another big game from Anthony Davis. I really like this matchup for him against the Suns. The Suns are not going to have DeAndre Ayton tonight, so it's probably going to be Bismack Biyombo starting at center for the Suns. And I think, Anthony Davis going up against Bismack Biyombo, that is definitely a mismatch. This is a spot where Anthony Davis should be able to feast, and he had a great game against the Suns earlier this season. That was a game that I think DeAndre Ayton played in, but AD played 38 minutes earlier this year against Phoenix, had 37 points, 21 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 steals, and 5 blocks. It was one of his best games of the season. And I think it's another good spot for AD going up against the Suns team that, again, is not going to have DeAndre Ayton. So we're going to see a lot of Bismack Biyombo, a lot of Jock Landale. The Suns might even try and play small ball. Like we might even see them play like Torrey Craig at the 5. Either way, I think this is a spot where AD should definitely have plenty of success. And obviously without LeBron right now, we're seeing AD take on a really, really big role, really, really big workload. The Lakers, I think right now they're the 10 seed in the West, so they're just inside the play-in, but they need to continue to win games if they want to stay in the play-in or potentially get to the make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be able to get to the 6th seed, but if they want to move up in the standings or make sure they secure their spot in the play-in, they got to keep winning games. So we can expect AD to play 36, 37, 38 minutes here if this game is competitive. His numbers without LeBron this season have been great. Usage has been great. So far this season, in the minutes he's played without LeBron, leads the team with a 30.8% usage rate. Per 36, he's averaging about 29.5 points per 36. So on average, in the minutes he plays without LeBron, he's going to average around 29 points for every 36 minutes. And again, like I said, we can expect AD to play 36, 37 minutes if this game is competitive. I think last game against Orlando, he played 37 minutes. I mean, he's been playing massive minutes lately. The Lakers have to play him a ton just because Austin Reeves been playing well off the bench. They've been getting some offense from Reeves, from D'Angelo Russell, but this offense, this lineup is going to continue to revolve around AD. The usage is going to continue to be dominated by AD, and like I said, the minutes are going to be through the roof as well. This is a game that should be competitive. The spread right now is just 1.5. Decent total here as well, 229.5 total. Really like this matchup for AD. I think he's definitely going to be able to take advantage of this Suns team that's going to have, that's going to be without DeAndre Ayton. And even if DeAndre Ayton was playing, I still think it'd be a pretty good spot for AD. But definitely without Ayton, I think it's going to be a mismatch out there. So give me the over on 25.5 points for Anthony Davis today as our second pick for today. And this is an early 2-pick entry I do like for today, guys. Already put this entry in. I will be posting more plays, though, over on Patreon for today. I'll probably have at least 3-4 more plays posted over there. And if you guys want more Prizepicks plays from me, you can check out the Patreon linked down below in the description. You can see all that I do offer over there. But I wish you guys the best of luck on this Wednesday slate. It's a big slate tonight, 10 games, so there should be a lot of props to like. It should be a fun slate, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, again, appreciate you watching. Make sure you hit that like button down below before you do get out of here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, go check out Prizepicks. If you're not signed up for Prizepicks yet, you can sign up and use my promo code Noah. If you look at the bottom of the screen, when you sign up for Prizepicks with my promo code, you'll get your first deposit matched up to $100. So definitely check them out. If you have not yet, use that promo code when you sign up. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. But good luck tonight, guys. Thanks as always for watching the videos, for supporting the content. Appreciate you guys a ton. Hopefully, we can all win some money tonight, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.